Remember when you were saying some of your work is creating the story from the shadows, from data and from information that you don't have, which is specifically challenging for storytellers because the common narrative is I string together the different pieces of data and I form a story and I make it coherent and I put in emotions, fact, logic, and I speak with personal credibility. But you have a big hole in there because you don't have the data. The data is in the shadows. So how do you do this?
Frankly, it's what I love about my job. I love the puzzle solving part of this. We take it in phases. The first phase is to listen really well to the client and obtain facts from them. Then we engage in a traditional storytelling exercise of putting together the facts that we have, seeing if the story holds together. Sometimes the story holds together, but we always have a duty to our clients to stress test that story. If you're responding to an investigation by a government, you have to stress test to see if it will hold up. So we flip the storytelling process, coming at it in an inverted way, and think, well, what don't we know? What's missing from this story?
How do you know what's missing?
Well, a lot of it is gut feeling. We talk about good judgment. You build a foundation of experience because a lot of this stuff, you mentioned in the shadows, people don't bribe somebody and then call home and tell their mom. People hide things and they aren't really willing to tell us right away that they've done something bad. We realize that the first story we're told could be biased, could be skewed in certain ways. Our problem is that we're not the police. We're not the banks. We can't force people to tell us the truth. And so we have to think, if something bad happened, how might it have happened? The simpler something is, the more it's what you're used to seeing, the more confident you can feel it's okay. But since things get sideways and people can't explain things to you, that's when we have concerns.
You touched a little bit about this. Mark Bowden does this in his talk and a number of other storytelling experts, which is body language in storytelling. The way someone behaves in a negotiation is a kind of story that their body is telling versus a story that they're actually telling is very different. What to you, as you're watching someone tell a story, are dead giveaways that the story is a true story, likely or highly probable not to be a true story?
Well, Mrids, no substitute for watching someone when they're telling you a story. And as an investigator by profession, watching someone respond to your questions is invaluable. Being with somebody, watching their eye movement, if there's others in the room, watching them kind of look at other people sometimes is hugely valuable for forming a judgment. And it's just a judgment about whether you think they're telling you the full story or the correct story or not. What's also super valuable for what we do is the time before and after. Getting a coffee at a break, being by the water cooler, being around on site in a location. You learn all kinds of really interesting stuff. Lots of soft things, but they'll help you form a judgment. Are people scared that you're there? Are they not scared that they're there? Are they too friendly? You can tell when people want to tell you things but feel that they can't. And so you kind of go back to the data at that point and see, okay, do things look different now that I have this judgment or reaction? And then when we tell stories, we try to show respect. People are scared usually when they talk to us. It's usually someone's employer has told them you have to speak to the lawyers. It's never fun for anybody. And patience. You just keep asking questions.
And eventually you'll get a story.
And eventually you get a story, and then you invert it and see, how might I challenge this story? How do I stress test this? Do I believe it?